that as always, because the classroom is in and we always have our teacher's pet. I'm going to check and see who's in the teacher's pet area. Let me check it out. Oh my goodness. Let's see. This is what I do. Okay, guys, I know that there's some of you. Remember that the only way I can find you, I can see you, is if you like us or do a little heart or do something that you let your attendance be known in the classroom. So I want to ask you to let yourself be known today because it's our classroom today. So you get to ask all the questions and you get to do anything you want. You get to ask anything you want today. It's an open day. So I'm going to hit the record button, and I am in the wrong section right there. And let me make sure that we are good. And I'm going to start the record. So today is going to be something different. It's been a while since I've been on my own, but I am never on my own because I have all of you in the classroom. So I am going to ask you to make sure that you share, that you spread the good news, because today I'm going to speak to you from the heart. Some of the things that are happening in the classroom that I need for you to support me and pray for me and do all the things that you've been doing. We've got the smartest audience ever. And so fasten your seatbelt because we're going to learn and grow together. It's time to dance, everyone.
The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here. Right here, and when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening and viewing friends. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time to the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal. And it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friends, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Well, as you know, for those of you who are subscribers in the classroom, my blog was ready. It was ready to go. It was posted, but it wasn't published yet when we hear that my guest, my teacher today, who helped me immensely when I had LB. Do you remember LB, my little butterfly? LB also stood for limiting beliefs. LB was with me for 18 days, which was 18 days longer than anybody would have expected him because he was born with a deficiency, I guess. And he found his way to my porch and into my heart. And that is what we were going to talk about today. We were going to talk about the Monarch Butterfly. And so Brooke, who's just the most wonderful person, texted me and goes, "Oh, this is happening." I had already done my Irish Rican dance once I finished it and got it ready, prepared. I'm like doing a little dance because I knew I was going to be able to have some time to kind of de-stress when I get this call. And it's been a while since I've been able to do a classroom because Brooke has been keeping me really busy with some wonderful teachers. So I just thought, I've been wanting to do this. There've been some things that are happening in the classroom, and I want to give you the heads up, because this is our classroom. I may be in the front row of the front row, but you are right beside me along the way in this journey. I don't know how many people have been listening to the classroom since 2011, or how many people just tuned in for today. I'd love to hear from you, because it's the only way I know that you're in the classroom. Because of privacy, I don't know that you're on unless you let your presence be known. So I'd like to take attendance today. I would like to take attendance. I would like to know where you're viewing from, perhaps maybe how you learned about the classroom, how you stumbled upon the classroom. And I'd love to hear, maybe your takeaway. What were you looking for when you stumbled upon the classroom? Because I truly believe there are no accidents. Everything has purpose. Everything has purpose. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am so grateful that I have this opportunity. I'm sorry that my guest, my teacher, wasn't able to come in today, but there was a reason for that too. And when we look at life, that everything has purpose, everything has meaning, it's a little easier to get through the difficult times, because then you're going, I also know that God works works things out for the good of all, the good of all of us, whether you love Him or not, whether you know Him or not, because that's what unconditional love is. And so, because of that, I thought, you know, let me find the purpose. And I found it. So, when I first started on this journey in 2011, so I want to hear how long you've been watching. And also, I also want you to, if you have a question, if anything comes up that sparks something in your heart, if you have a question, make sure you type in a Q, and that you also write your question after that. So if you write a statement, I may or may not have the time to read it, but if you type in a Q, I will look, and I'm like a little trained puppy. I'll go, yeah, I'll look at it, and then I'll ask the question. And today, I guess I'll answer the question as well. So in 2011, I did not ever think that having the classroom, at the time it was the show, I never thought that this was something that would ever be in my life. I just went to promote a campaign I had started for one of my doctors. And the next thing you know, this was a half-hour interview on the radio. And that half-hour interview, when I was done, the owner of the station went, "Wow, how long have you been doing radio?" And I looked at my watch and I went, 30 minutes. That was the start. That was the start. The purpose of that start became the reason I am here today. This classroom has truly saved my life and the life of many people that have learned new truths that were probably stuck. They were probably stuck in their belief system that may have supported them when they were younger. But then as they got older, it didn't support them anymore. And I'll give you an example, a simple example. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Well, that works really well when you're a 2-year-old and the world revolves around you and you think everybody loves what you do. But as you get older, that doesn't work so much, because the way I want to be treated may be different than the way you want to be treated. My love language is time, is touch. Your love language might be acts of service. It may be, affirmations. Whatever it is, I love affirmations too, by the way. That's why I want to hear from you today. That's how I get paid, really. So when you learn that perhaps you need to treat others the way they want to be treated. And we need to be careful with that, because sometimes we teach others how to treat us with disrespect. We teach others how to treat us without love. We teach others how to treat us by making fun of ourselves. So we need to be careful, because whether you know it or not, how you treat yourself and how you teach others, that's how you will be taught. So the question is, what is your belief? What is at the center of your belief? And I'm telling you, in 2011 to where we are today in 2020, if I would look back and see me moving forward, if I were to see me who I am today, I would have said, she's a crazy fanatic who just is crazy, just period crazy. But what happened was in 2012, something happened within my heart. And I could no longer listen to that little tiny pinhole at the center of my heart. And when I was quiet, really quiet, I could hear a breeze go through it. It was just a tiny little hole in my soul. And when I was busy, everything was good. I've had a successful life, a successful business. But when I was by myself, I could hear it. And that's when I started realizing I needed to do something about that. But it started as a result of being in the show and doing the show and interviewing people. And it was painful because I had never interviewed anybody. And I still am learning from the whatever, I'm not an expert. I don't claim I'm an expert, but I've learned from the experts. We have learned from the experts. And we've had so many people come on and pierce our heart with new truths. And everything I do from this point on is part of new truths. I even started the New Truth series, which we're doing with Dr. Lorraine Day, the Book of Revelation, which, by the way, you can still come on in. We're looking forward to having one more person in the classroom and learning from Dr. Lorraine Day, who came into my life in 2013. And the reason why she came into my life in 2013 is because some guy wandered into the station with raw vegan food, and I loved it. Oh my God, it was so good. And I had that person, because I wanted to learn how to make it. And I had that person come back and make me food. He had to make me food, raw vegan food. And it's Happy Healthy Human at the time. He was in that. He was the owner of it in Melbourne. And he challenged me. He challenged me to go raw vegan for 1 month. And I say yes. We have got to learn to say yes, even if we're scared. So I always say yes. If my heart doesn't say no, if I know I'm not scared, I listen to my no. And if I know I have no clue how it's going to happen, but I trust that if it's been presented to me, God will give me the tools to do it. I'm still learning new tools along the way. That's the beauty of the classroom. We're all learning together, and I am I'm in the front row of the classroom right with you. So I don't pretend to know it. I am learning. I am curious. I am so curious. And so 4 days after that, I really felt good. It's like, wow, I feel really good. But here's the deal. I didn't feel bad. I just didn't know I could feel better. So I thought, if I was lied to about, or I wasn't told about how food can make me feel this good, what else is out there? And as I've mentioned to you before, this has led me to this path of learning more and more and more about the things I wasn't taught as a child, the things that were bypassed because somebody else was going to make money on it, the things that every child should be taught so that they don't have to deal with obesity, disease, past traumas. So with that in mind, started this thirst. And I met Dr. Lorraine Day, which I quote her a lot. We may not agree with everything she says, but we have learned a lot from her. And so when something in your heart, and I've said this before, when I was blow drying my hair, looking at my vision board, being frustrated that my dreams weren't coming true, things were like, it was like block after block after block. And I was frustrated. And I looked at the word believe in my vision board. And the word, it was for the first time, because I know that if something's not working out for me, it's because I don't believe in whatever is happening. I don't believe it. I've not bought into it. And I thought, what is it about my vision board that I don't believe? And that's when I saw lie at the center of our belief. Actually, the belief word was in white, but the IE was in red because I cut it out of a magazine. And that's when I realized that there was a lie at the center of my belief. And I thought, wow, there is a lie at the center of belief. So I want to challenge you. What is the lie at the center of your belief? And that little hole, that pinhole that was in my heart, that's what started my journey. That awareness of that little tiny pinhole started the journey. And then I started getting more and more teachers that were teaching us about nutrition, about rest and healing naturally, and all those things. And all of us have benefited. All of us have benefited from this journey. I hope we have. That's the goal. So along the way, we have different people that are introduced. They want to be in the classroom. And of course, we have, so before I'm going to challenge you completely. It's not what is the lie at the center of your belief. What if everything you believe was true is a lie? And what if everything that you thought was a lie is true? Can you sit with that? Can you sit with that? You see, that's where I don't want to learn about what that person learns became curiosity. I was curious as to why the person that was on the other side of the interview believed the way they did. And I saw the documents the way they did. And I always tell you that even though I've researched it, I want you to do your own research. I want you to not repeat what I say, because I don't repeat what they say, my teachers along the way, but I want to learn it so that it is my new truth, and we share it so that you can learn it too and research it so that you're not repeating what you hear like they want us to. When I say they, the mainstream media and everybody who controls the mainstream media. So with that in mind, the classroom started developing. And just keep in mind, anything I say today that may have some fact, or because you can't argue facts, or at least you couldn't. Now you can Google anything and you can get opposing views, testing, science. And I'll gravitate to what I believe, and you will gravitate to what you believe. And then we can argue about those facts, or we can share those facts. And if I share something, it doesn't mean you have to buy it, that you have to believe it. It just means that you sit with it and you go, huh. And when you say something to me, I go, huh, I'm going to look into that because I want to know if I'm just repeating or if this is truth. So along the classroom, all the 20 years, all the years that I have lived, I believed a certain way of nutrition until just recently. And I started becoming that crazy lady that I didn't want to listen to back then. Talk about reaping what you sow. I'm sure many of you think I'm that crazy woman, right? Well, I'm glad that I embrace my crazy. I'm glad that I embrace totally who I am and totally who you are and learned from these teachers. So because of that, I am thinking a lot more about what's happening to my parents. My father is almost 90 and my mom is 86, late stage dementia. You've seen her in the classroom, especially when it's my turn to watch her and she takes off and she's like, I have not been able to reschedule my class or whatever. You've seen her. She's made her cameo appearance in the classroom. And I love both my parents, but they have been such great teachers. And as my mom fell just recently and fractured her lower spine, and I'm seeing that a simple procedure has turned into a much worse scenario, it's made me take inventory of that crazy woman in me today. I am so grateful today and always for the classroom. And I'm grateful for all of you who tune in and all of you that share with you how the classroom has helped you. You have to understand, that's my payment. That's how I get paid. And so I started thinking, and I shared this the other day, my parents retired and financially they're okay. They planned for that, but they didn't plan for their health retirement, how they saw themselves 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. They did not plan that. And today, they're reaping what they sowed. My parents have been great teachers, and I absolutely love them, but they've taught me how to be and how not to be. And I'm sure you can relate to that. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear how long have you been listening? I want to hear from you. The only way I know that you're in the classroom is if you make a comment or if you put a little heart or a thumbs up or whatever. So have you figured out what your retirement plan is for your health? How do you want your health to be in the future? I want to dance with my great-grandchildren at their wedding. I want to be able to be vibrant at the age of 90. But things do happen. Sometimes beyond your control, but sometimes totally in your control. So I hope that if you've been paying attention in the classroom, that you're not just listening, but that you are making commitments. When Dr. Furman comes on, when Dr. Lorraine comes on, when Dr. Neil Barnard comes on, when we have go into the archives and see Bruce Lipton, David Icke, Richard Horowitz, see all the incredible teachers that we've learned from. But here's what's happened, and this is why it's been a very difficult time to see the people you love suffer. If you had a choice and you knew that there was no medication to get you better, how would you change your life? You see, I changed my life because I was presented with some incredible food. And I was hungry at the time, really. I didn't care what it was. I just wanted to try it. And it awakened every cell in my body. And because of that, I've been able to make some I've adapted to my lifestyle. I'm a nutritarian. That's the lifestyle that I follow. And so that's why Dr. Furman, I've learned since 2015 from him. But these are guests that are free. You can watch this free. And so sponsorship, and this is what I've been told, that in October, they're going to turn off the opportunity for us to be on the air. And the reality is that the alternative, which would be Hulu, or who knows what the alternative will be, is going to be very costly, very costly. So I am not going to buy into the sensationalism, because I have not seen anything. I've just been told by people who are also do what I do. So it's kind of uncertain. These are uncertain times. And I've planned for a healthy future, but we all see how we're being controlled and manipulated into doing what we were taught from the moment we were born, that indoctrination from the moment we were born, to give our trust away, to give our health away, to give our judgment away, to delude our belief in God, to delude our values of what we believe is holy and true. And so now more than ever before, I need more teachers to come on to the classroom. But with the algorithms blocking things down, with people not knowing, when I'm coming on and when I'm not coming on, it's very important that you become a subscriber of the classroom, just in case something happens, because we have far more viewers than we have subscribers. And when you subscribe, it helps us. We've made some changes in the classroom with adding BitChute. They say they don't censor us, but you don't have the same, it's becoming more and more difficult. And just recently, my sponsors are becoming donors, because if you look at my the people who stand beside me right now, my sponsors, my advertisers, there's not one that is paying. Not one is paying. They're perhaps maybe affiliates, or maybe they are bartering, or maybe they are doing other things, but that doesn't pay the bills. So today I want to encourage you to kind of shift the way you look at this, because if we have to move to another platform, it's going to cost a whole lot more than it costs now. So I'm wanting to encourage you to become a donor, a teacher in the classroom. And I talk about it all the time on there, but this time I am asking that you consider it. And I want to tell you what has made me move here, because I don't want to be controlled by my sponsors anymore. I want it to be our classroom. And it's really good to receive, but sometimes it's even better. Actually, not sometimes, it always is better when we give. When you give, you also receive treasures beyond what you can imagine. So this is what happened recently. I don't know if you remember Nori Nutraceuticals. Nori Nutraceuticals came at a time when I had lost Liberty Health Share. And I love Liberty Health Share, but they went through a lot of trials. Also with COVID, a lot of the sponsors have not been able to do other forms of advertising. They're looking at different ways to advertise. And they were with me for 3 years. And it came at that time when Nori reached out to me. And Nori Nutraceutical stands for Nutritional Oncology Research Institute. And as you know, I always say research, and I research a lot. I am on there and I make sure that I look at everything before I present something to you. If it's new and I haven't researched and I haven't checked it out, then I will tell you that too. Like when we did the class with Pimpy, we were talking about Nasera Jacera. I said, this is something that has been rumored, that these are some of our rights, and they're asking for us to unite and demand these to be our rights. But I also said that this was not something that is truly out there. But Pimpy's coming back, and we're going to learn a little bit more about what's happening. What I'm learning with Dr. Lorraine Day is that all this that we're looking in all the political stuff, all the health stuff that we're learning, all of that is all an illusion. It's to manipulate and control us. And I know that that might be a hard pill to swallow, but that is what we're learning in the book of Revelation as well, that things are set in motion and the evil that is out in the world is so great right now that there's nothing we can do. That's one way to think about it. But I am going to put up a fight. I am going to stand for what is right, even if I'm scared. Because that's when true freedom comes, when you do it anyway, regardless to how you're scared. So in comes Nori Nutraceuticals. And I did some research. I checked out the company. The company was in California, so couldn't fly there. But I didn't see anything negative about it. They sent me their nutraceuticals. I tried them out. They were fine. I don't have cancer, but there were certain things that I did try, and I shared that with you. But what happened was, after the first class with Mark Simon, there were some ugh. And I had 2 months worth of conversations with him. And every time he would come on, there was something else. So then I started asking different questions that I didn't think I needed to ask the first time around. Like, what are your credentials? I knew his credentials were that he was a chemist, or that he was a mechanical engineer, or a chemical engineer, something to that effect. And then I decided, I asked about clinical trials. He sent me some documents, but the clinical trials weren't there. There was something that he kept saying I'm going to do. And because of sponsorship, and I'm going to say that we all fall short. And I'm telling you, if I would have researched this differently, perhaps this would be a totally different story. But the circumstances, the fact that we were like-minded, and he wanted to grow his brand, and I wanted him to grow his brand, but more and more inconsistencies starting revealing. See, you can act. And this is what I say to women who have been battered, or men who have been in relationships that are controlling and manipulative. I always say you can be good for a short period of time, but you can't be good a long period of time. So there are some certain things, and as you notice, Nori Nutraceutical is no longer a sponsor. Once you know the truth, it is very difficult to unlearn it. So I want to tell you that it is so important, even when I researched something and it started becoming clearer, the person that I spoke to off the air was not the person that was on the air. And on the air, he said some things like, for example, that sugar doesn't have anything to do with cancer, like our system, that our body can't heal naturally. You have to do it the way he says it. And we had so many conversations afterwards that it became apparent that this was no longer going to be a place where we could continue to thrive together. So I no longer support or endorse Nori Nutraceuticals. Mark Simon, too many lies, too much deceit. And the reason I'm stepping forward and saying, I'm going to put egg on my face here. The reason I'm stepping forward and saying this is because the most vulnerable are trusting in him. So please know that I do not endorse Nori Nutraceuticals. I didn't even know he was not a cancer coach. So, because when I asked, the answer was totally different than the truth. So with that in mind, I have to shift. I have to shift. It takes money to be in the classroom, to do the classroom. And I want to ask you, and by the way, with Nori and their protocols, there are certain protocols that are Michael Greger, I am sure that other integrative oncologists do, but that's okay with an integrative oncologist, but not with someone like, let's say I'm giving you cancer advice. I cannot give you any advice on that. So I am just coming forward and saying, you know, we've got to be guarded. Never again, never again. So with that, I've got to change the way we are doing this. It's different. It's different. So instead of sponsors, what I am proposing is for those of you who are students in the classroom, that you consider if everybody who watched this classroom donated $1, just $1, it would help us where we currently are right now, where I pay a team to help me. But we know that not everybody's going to give $1. So I want to do this drive. If you can give $12 one time to help grow the classroom, that's $1 for 12 months, $12. It's less than a lunch. So, or a dinner, depending on where you go, or a week's worth of lattes. If you can donate more, and we've had some people step up and donate to the classroom, and I thought, this is possible. This is possible. And you hear me say this while I'm thanking all my sponsors that are really affiliates. If you go to them and you utilize them, I am supposed to get something from them. But you know what? Not all of them are paying. So I need you who's benefiting. If you felt that anything was said that was changing your life in any way, shape, or form, I want you to consider treating this no different than you treat Netflix, no different than, and when I say this, the classroom is free. But if they change the platform in October, the classroom will be no more. So this is critical. Just like I'm looking at my mom and my dad. While I was talking to my dad, I was FaceTiming my dad with my mom at the rehab center. My dad fell backwards. He fell backwards and landed on his butt, and he couldn't get up. And I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. First, the FaceTime went off, we disconnected. When I called again, he was on the floor. It is so important that we learn these truths now, that we teach these truths to our kids now. If they're open, feed it to them. Show them in how you changed your life, that you love them enough. And I've said this to my daughter, Brittany, just recently, because I was having this conversation while I was driving, that I hope she appreciates, because I'm sure my children see me as the crazy woman that I thought other people were. And I get it. I get it. I get it. I once had that judgment too. We reap what we sow. As Dr. Lorraine Day says, a lot of times we reap what we sow. So I'm now at the receiving end. I am reaping what I'm sowing. And so for those of you who think I'm a crazy woman, well, hopefully someday, and I pray that someday, that you too will be open to new truths. But if you have benefited in any way, and you look forward to being a student in the classroom, sitting in the front row, from anywhere in the world that you consider, whether it's $20, and I have Janice who donates $20 every month, and I'm so grateful to her. Other people that want to be anonymous, and Janice, I hope you don't mind me saying your name, and Bob, who has donated to the classroom. And we've got to change. I don't want to risk it anymore to put myself in a situation where I am deceived by someone. So at this point, I am leaving it up to God. If God wants me to be a part of this, God will touch your heart. And God will make you go into the classroom and say, you know what? I'm going to donate. And by the way, you can donate one time. A lot of people like to send me checks. Well, the people that are sending me checks, they like to send checks. They don't want to go through PayPal. They don't want to do credit. They don't want to do any of that. They just, once a month, they write a check for $20, for $100, for whatever it is. And I always say, from $1, if you want to do one donation, whatever is planted in your heart. And, we talked with Dr. Day that is so important to tithe. And it doesn't have to be to a church. It can be to anything. And I do have a nonprofit, but we've put the nonprofit on hold here because people are not donating to the nonprofit the way that they donate to other cancer groups that are burning you with chemotherapy and radiation and cutting you and mutilating you up. So the classroom is not a 501c3, but it is providing information to all of you who will listen to this. Man, it's 2020, but anybody can listen to this in the future and say, I want to donate. I want to donate. I want to be a student in the classroom. I want to stand with you today. And whether it's $20 or $1,000 or $1 or a one-time gift, whatever it is that you can afford, I need you. You. I have been waiting for you. Now we're going to do the New Truth series. All that money goes into the classroom. And those are the people who aren't on scholarship, because nobody will be kept from the new truths. Everybody is welcomed. And in order for me to continue that, then we have to have people that will pay for somebody else to come. Because not all of us, we're different in many ways. Some of us have more than others. Some can give more than others. But it's so important. The widow's mite, that penny, that small little gift, because that was all they had, was even greater than somebody writing a check that's painless. So let's all unite. You know, I've created I Am 99, and I have been neglectful of I Am 99 because what we're doing is we're doing Ho'oponopono at 5 o'clock. And I hope you did it before we started dancing today. Right now, that's what we're being called to: prayer, to reading the Bible, to getting closer to God. Because that was the question. What if the God I have worshiped in my church is not the right God? I know enough now to say the God that I have worshiped, that I've been taught, is not the same one I've been worshiping. Because I had to kind of adjust it to, because intuitively we know God is all loving. How will God send us to hell? If God is unconditional, it never made sense to me until now, until learning with Dr. Day with the New Truth series. And please consider, if you join, you get also the class and get to ask Dr. Day Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time, worldwide. We have so many people joining us in the classroom. It is beautiful. What started off as a show is now a life-saving classroom. My life was changed. You have seen me change so much. You have seen me go through explantation surgery. You have seen me go through nutritional changes. You have seen me go through different challenges. And I bring those of you who have thrived so that we can learn from you too. You don't have to be world-renowned, best-selling author. We've had people like you and me telling their stories. Check it out on YouTube and Facebook. If you go to whenyouneedafriend.com, and you check out the archives, every single class we've ever done, from the most painful first class that we did to where we're at today, learning about what happens to someone who aborts a child, what happens to someone who loses a child through a miscarriage, what happens to a person who's been given devastating news, what happens to a person experiencing a health crisis. Let's not wait till it happens to us. Let's learn from these teachers. Unfortunately, many of us will go through a health crisis before we change. Many of us. And so I ask, don't wait. Don't wait. I was talking to someone I love the other day that they might have cancer. But you know, they thought they would change their lifestyle once they were diagnosed. And I thought, does that make sense? Does that make sense to you that you would change your lifestyle when you have a diagnosis? Why don't you act like you have the diagnosis and change your lifestyle? And I challenge all of you to do the same. I challenge all of you to think you already have a disease and it's now time to change. And one of my biggest for Nori Nutraceuticals that I said, I can't do this anymore because emotional trauma plays an incredible role in our health. 99%. That's pretty big. And it's not that it doesn't exist, and it's not that it's all in your head, is that that's the fuel that's driving you. That's the poison. What was made for purpose in your life became poison. And that poison, like Dr. Wayne Dyer said, it's not the snake bite that kills you. It's the poison that runs through your blood that does. What is the poison? What is the lie? What is that thing you don't want to look at? That little tiny hole like me in my soul that would just scream at me sometimes, but everything was comfortable and good and on the outside. But I knew it. I knew it. And I knew it when it was quiet and I was still. And I needed to be in that moment and make that decision when I was invited to personal growth, which I am inviting you all to that personal growth here in the classroom. Here in the classroom. We're all learning together. And so now I'm saying, it's time. It's time to take back your life. And even if this classroom no longer continues, because it's in God's hands now, I am not going to allow, if somebody wants to sponsor and wants to be in the classroom and be a monthly guest in the classroom, there's going to be a heck of a whole lot more stricter guidelines. And that's going to be even more difficult. So it's in God's hands, not in mine anymore. And God is putting it in your hands. It is up to us to say yes to this invitation. And so I have mentioned this before. Henry Maudsley, he's a psychiatrist. In 1867, he came up with this, and I've quoted him. I couldn't remember his name, but before today's class, I was going to make sure I had it. And from now on, I'm going to have it posted in my desk. He said, the sorrow that has no vent in tears may cause other organs to weep. If you today have a diagnosis, that diagnosis is just the name the pharmaceutical company called it, or a doctor called it, to take away your power. But it's your body speaking to you. What is it telling you? What is it telling you? Your body is intuitive. Your body is speaking to you just like it spoke to me. And I know many of you have been spoken to as well, and you listened. But for all those years that I did not listen, for all those years, I'm now paying for it. I'm paying for it. I'm reaping what I sowed. All those years of taking drugs for asthma that I now take vitamin C for. I take Lobelia because I had teachers come on the classroom. Dr. David Freeman was the one that told me, take Lobelia. Dr. Andrew Saul said, take vitamin C. And I listened. and my life has changed. When I was in the car accident, I was told, do the surgery. No, I'm going to do it the way God wants me to do it, the way that my intuition speaks to me. I want to deal with whatever it is. And I know that dealing with past traumas can be difficult. And as a certified life coach, I've seen it. But what's waiting for you on the other side is absolutely, breathtakingly phenomenal. And it's up to you then to decide, what is it? What is it that you want your life to be? And as I look at my mom, and I kissed her today, and I drove all the way home to be here with you, I thought, I am so committed to this classroom that I can't imagine it going away. So I'm asking you to help, because I don't want to go and repeat this snoring nutraceutical anymore. And if you want this classroom to continue, it will. But I needed to be with my mom today, to see her do physical therapy, to remind her who she is. But I'm here with you because I believe in this, and I believe in you. Because I'm glad for the teachers that came into my life that changed me. And I want to pass this and pay it to you. So I want to thank, Keep Me Safe Organics, that has partnered with me and donates to the classroom. I want to thank First Alternative Care Telemedicine, that when you pay $19.99 for telemedicine, it helps pay for the classroom. $19.99 for your entire household, unlimited medical, unlimited. And Robert, I'm going to ask for 5 more minutes, okay? Unlimited medical, unlimited dermatology, unlimited whatever, 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling. And what did you say, Robert? 2 minutes. Question on YouTube. How does someone donate? Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I've not checked. I've not even looked down. Okay. The way you donate to the classroom are different ways. You can go to whenyouneedafriend.com, which I hope all of you are subscribers, because if this goes off the air, which I don't know what's going to happen, we're just trusting in God, then go to whenyouneedafriend.com, subscribe. At least you'll know what's going to happen. We're trying to make some plans, but it's very costly. And at this point, I'm saying, I trust in God. I trust that if God wants this to happen, it will happen. But the people, the good news, the money is out there. The bad news, it's in your pockets. Basically, that's what our pastor used to say every time we had to tithe or donate or whatever. So hopefully the good news is that you will be sparked in your heart. So you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com, click on enrolled student in the classroom, and that's a reoccurring donation. You can and then there's some gift packages there depending on what you want. But here's the deal. If you want to go to PayPal, just go to PayPal and make one donation, or whatever it is that you want to do. You can go to Lily at whenyouneedafriend.com. That's my PayPal account, is Lily at whenyouneedafriend.com. So, or some of you are writing checks. And the address that you can go to is P.O. Box. And Robert, can you write the P.O. Box, please? Can you write the P.O. Box? It's P.O. Box 1064, Cape Canaveral, Florida, 32920. We say if you can donate $20 a month for the year 2020, and I know my friend Del Bigtree, he does that, $20 a month for 2020, 20 for 2020. That's what he says on his show, The High Wire, which I promote him a lot. And, we have to promote each other. We must lift each other up. That's how we grow and build. That's how it works. We give and we receive more than we give, because it says in the Bible that we receive 100 times fold what we give. So I don't know if that that answered your question. Thank you, Robert. And I am seeing that there's some comments, and I will read them once we're done with the podcast section. But I am asking you to please consider. And of course, I had mentioned First Alternative Care, the pharmacy in Merritt Island. They've been a silent donor. I mentioned them because if you live in Merritt Island or if you live in the Brevard County area, go to them. They are like going back to Mayberry. It's like the best pharmacist ever and the greatest team. And they donate, but they donate in different ways. And ground therapy, even though if you don't tell me that you've bought something through ground therapy, I don't get a check from ground therapy. I don't know what's happening, but I believe in the product so much that I make it easy for you. And I'll probably not be able to use them anymore. And then BrainTap is phenomenal. They donate, it's a barter, it's an affiliate. And then Avasia, those are different ways that it helps supplement. But if you don't buy, there's no money coming in. But I don't want you to feel that way. I want for those of you who feel that this has been of value to you, and that will let me know what my next step will be. Because I can't go through a nori nutraceutical anymore. I don't ever want to go through that again, where they say one thing and they are the other. That deceitfulness is happening in this world more and more and more, and we've got to protect ourselves. We've got to put that armor of salvation around us. And if we don't do it, then we will be deceived. I was deceived. We're not perfect. And the reason I'm coming to you and I'm saying, hey, this happened to me. It happens to anyone. We're sucker punch. We don't even know. We trust in the wrong group, the wrong person, the wrong spouse, the wrong friend. And during this time, I have lost a lot of friends because I've taken a stand. And I think, wow, whenyouneedafriend.com. Will I lose whenyouneedafriend.com? I hope not. I hope that this has been part of the plan of God for me to ask, for me to truly ask, because I love to give. I give until it hurts sometimes. And I don't know how to ask. But sometimes when we humble ourselves and we say we messed up and this is what we need, that's when we allow God to really, truly reveal God's purpose. So that's what's been happening in the classroom. And I hope and I pray that we will continue. So make sure you subscribe to my BitChute account. Make sure, because I know that a lot of you will watch this later on, whether you're watching it live or not. So this is for you too. Because even when this repeats itself in your home later on in podcast, for those of you who are listening in podcasts, this is for you too. Because this is free for all. I don't charge anybody anything. But I need your help. Will you help me? Has this classroom helped you in any way, shape, or form? Have you shared it with anybody? Has it helped them in any way, shape, or form? Maybe it didn't help you, but you knew somebody that it would help. Let's continue. I hope and I pray that this is not the end of the classroom. I hope that this is a new beginning of something greater. Because if we move our platform somewhere else, because we're forced out, then maybe it will be even more impactful to you, to all of us. And then God's glory will shine. Amen. And please remember, I'll be here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We're going to continue our conversation. I'll read all your comments when we're done here. But please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.
Oh my, oh my. Here we go. It's so nice. It is so nice to see that we have some comments, and I'd love to read them. I hope I can read them. I don't even have my little readers here. Okay, it's from Charles Founder says, hello, Lillian. Thank you for the classroom and the love and knowledge that is shared here. I found you early this year with Dr. Jennifer Grammeth. I know who you are. In my healing journey, as I listen to the classroom, teachers and interviews, I have learned so much and continue. Let me see. It says Seymour. And continue to grow. Oh. We share the health of our mothers, as my mother also with very late staged Alzheimer's. Many days are difficult, but through the difficulties, I have learned to breathe and to love her more and strengthen my belief in God. I am a subscriber. I intend to dance at my grandchildren's weddings and reap nourishment from the fruits of my garden. I will stand with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. And Laurent, hey, I am not an American citizen and probably the poorest and famousless artists over the planet, and thus unable to provide your dime. But there's a question. Can I help by witness, knowledge, or whatever? Just let me know my account. Okay, so this is what you do. You just share. Just share. You give of your time, your talent, your treasure. So by sharing this, by inviting people, if everybody, like I did this one time, when I first started the classroom, I had about maybe, this was in 2011. I went onto my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and I had just I think it was in 2013 that I finally started going on Facebook. I can't remember when it started, but once we did a Facebook page, a fan page, I went on to my personal page and I asked everybody to share it with their friends. It's amazing how many people did, but even more did not. We've got to help each other out. We've got to help each other out. And I think we were just bombarded. We're just bombarded. But you know, I'm asking, this is life-changing. I don't know what I would be today if it weren't for the classroom and all the teachers in the classroom. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about the wisdom that we learn from each other. It is unbelievable how I don't recognize who I am today from who I was when I first started. So yes, even if you don't have a dime, the way you help is by promoting the classroom, because maybe someone you invite can help. So you've done your part, and we can all do a part. And that's how we do it. And so the P.O. Box is P.O. Box 1064, Cape Canaveral, Florida, 32920. And you can send your checks. You can, you can pay by PayPal at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. There's just so many different ways that we can help. And if you just go straight to PayPal, you can just do lily@whenyouneedafriend.com, or you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com and click on to the enroll student in the classroom. And there's different, you can donate and have a monthly. That way you can set it up so you don't even have to think about it. I mean, how many times do we waste money buying lotto tickets, buying a latte, buying lunch when you can make your own lunch. Maybe one day you make your own lunch, you make your own salad, and you can say, whatever I save this day, I'll donate it to the classroom. There's so many different ways to find, pick up a dime on the ground and donate it to the classroom, send it our way, because every penny helps. So Yvonne from Malaysia, we are so worldwide. Never in a million years. I used to say in worldwide when we were streaming the radio show, but now we are truly, and people, it's like if you were streaming it in the radio, it's because you knew of the class of the show back then it was a show on the radio. And but now, and I've been declaring worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. So all my friends that are all over the world, you can, you are part of this classroom. This is a worldwide classroom. Imagine that. And Yvonne has been listening from Malaysia, and I don't even know Yvonne, what time is it in Malaysia? She wakes up at all these hours to be a part of the classroom. Talk about dedication. She so it says it has really helped me. Thank you for being a blessing always, creation. Thank you so much. And then we have some comments from Madanov. Mom is sundowning also. Yes. I'm thinking I've been watching you for about a year. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And where do we donate? Okay, so I did read that question. And again, it all depends on how you want to donate. You can donate by sending a check and sending it to the PO box that we've posted. And Robert didn't post it on. We'll post it on the comment section, or when we I'll post it on Facebook in the actual subject. I'll post that. Or you can go to lily@whenyounneedafriend.com. That's my PayPal account. If you want to set it up at whenyounneedafriend.com, you can set it up as a monthly donation as well. Thank you so much for considering that. I appreciate it. And Crochet Granny. Oh, I wonder if that's my mother-in-law. I don't know. My mother-in-law is my superhero. She is 87. I think she's 87, but she's been in a knitting group, and they make blankets for the homeless and babies who were born with addictions from their mothers. And they donate like 300. They knit or crochet all year round, and once a year they donate all these blankets to the homeless. And so she's been doing this for about 20 years now. And I wanted to name her group the Happy Hookers, but she didn't like it. I don't think she saw the humor in it. But they are still going strong. She is like so over COVID, and she goes out and she goes, you know what? I'm going to die sometime. I am going to be fearless. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to enjoy the last years of my life. And I love her. And she was not as healthy as my parents. When my parents were, they never got sick, but it caught up to my parents. And now my mother-in-law, who had all the diseases and changed some of the things in her life, changed some of the ways, she is just an amazing, amazing superhero. I see her when I talk to her, I see her flying with this cape on her back. She's got her full faculty. She reads, we text with one another. See, one of the things that my dad did is that he wouldn't want to learn all this new stuff. And whenever I say, oh, I don't want to learn that new app, or I don't want to, I think, oh my God, I need to learn it because I don't want to be left behind. I want to stick with the crowd. I want to feel like I belong. And those are the ways we do it. But I love texting with my mother-in-law. And just recently I was listening to my husband. I was working in my office, and I was listening to my husband say, and you go here and you do this and you click here and you do that. And later on, my mother-in-law, she said, Bob is so patient. He's such a great teacher. And he taught my mother-in-law how to email. I forget what he was teaching her, but she had a new computer and she wanted to learn how to do something, and he was teaching her how to do it. We never stop learning. And if the moment you say, I can't learn that. I don't want to learn that. Just think that that will cut you off from your family, your friends. It will make you not learn as quickly as you get older. So I pray that if you ever say, I'm done learning, that that's your final word before you take your final breath. Because that is the only way I'll buy into it. So anytime I go, oh, I don't want to learn about this, I don't want to learn about, I think about that. So, okay. So, so here we go. So Crochet Granny, she said, I just started listening to your channel. I use food as medicine. Awesome. I love to hear that. I am a crazy woman too. My kids call me crazy as well. You know what? Okay, so I'm going to write this down because I want to remember crazy. So a long time ago, I had a guest. His name is Valentine, Radley Valentine. And he, and I don't believe in any of this stuff, and I certainly don't dabble in it at all. But at the time, it was someone I met, and I thought he was a great personality. And I thought some of the things that he was saying were just absolutely so beautifully spiritual that I invited Radley. And Radley did tarot cards, and he changed the tarot cards to be spiritual and hopeful and empowering. And so he was on the air, and we had some people, and he read that. And again, I don't subscribe to this. I don't say that this is something you should do, but it was entertaining. It was something that I was just learning about. And so he was reading my cards, and he had said something about the foundation and how the foundation, and I was thinking back then about stopping doing the radio, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for no payment. Whatever I get, I pay my team. But the payments that I'm getting, I know, I'm hoping that these are my rewards in heaven, that this is just like another step and another step and another step towards getting to heaven. And not that I know that I believe, not that I believe that works, but I do believe that, pay it forward, and it will come back. When you give, you receive more. So during the break, because he had said, oh, you cannot stop doing the class. And he was like someone that, by saying that to me, it gave me more motivation to do this. And so during the break, I said to Radley, Radley, I have felt like such a fluke. Like I wasn't supposed, when I was 7, I was told that I was not going to amount to much by my 2nd grade teacher. I'm not going to amount to much. Now I know he was trying to motivate me. Then shortly after that, as an adult, I know he was trying to motivate me, but at that moment, it marked my soul. It marked who I am. And then when I was about 9, my paternal grandmother told me that if I stopped learning how to play the piano, because I played by ear, and I would give my music to my sister, Asia, and Asia would play it, and then I would practice it as I heard it. And then when I started sight reading, my teacher, after a year of playing the piano, according to her, beautifully, she realized that I didn't even know where to put my hands. I watched everything Asia did, and I would go back and I would do it myself, and I would go and I'd razzle dazzle my teacher. And when she learned that I wasn't really reading music, she would bang my hands on the piano and yell at me. And I'd go home crying and say, Mommy, I don't want, and I don't want to go back. And so what happened next was she must have told my paternal grandmother, who maybe I saw her less than my grandchildren see me. But she came to me and she said, Lily, I heard that you're going to stop learning how to play the piano. And I said, yes, Abuela, I don't want to play the piano. I don't like it. And she said, well, if you stop learning how to play the piano, I will stop loving you. Okay. So I internalized that good for nothing, unlovable little girl. And I took that person everywhere I went. So at that moment, when I'm telling Radley that the classroom, the show at the time was not the classroom yet. It was still developing. It was still forming. It was the eye of the storm. It was still becoming whatever it needed to become. And it's still growing and it's still changing. Look at where we're at today. And I said those words that I thought I was a fluke, because many of the things I did were successful, but I never saw them as successful. I saw them as not good enough, because I took that not good enough everywhere I went. And I said, I think I'm a fluke. Like, I'm not supposed to have this classroom, this show. And Radley paused and he said, fluke. What a magical word. That changed me at that moment. That changed me. Reframing fluke, like fraud, you don't belong here. But even though I knew in my heart that that's what was being like drowned out in my mind, that was what was replaying in my head over and over again, I knew that there was a reason why I had to keep saying yes and keep saying yes. And so why am I telling you this story about fluke when I'm about to tell you about crazy? Crazy. Anytime people call me crazy that I wear a tinfoil hat, I change it and say, what a magical word. What an impactful word. Because I'm not using crazy to hurt people. I'm using crazy to wake up people. So if that gives it a different meaning, then that's what we do. That's what we do. We take words that shame us and we turn them into magical words. What is the word that keeps going through your head? Because remember, we're teaching people how we want to be treated. And if we're calling ourselves fat and ugly and stupid, then they're going to teach us. They're going to learn how to treat us by the way we're teaching them. So what do you need to reframe? What word? Oh, Yvonne in Malaysia, 5 a.m. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for waking up and waking all the other people as well. So I'm about to say goodbye to all of you. Unless you have questions or if you want to please share this. If you know people who can donate, businesses who can donate, please let them know about it. Family, friends that are looking to tithe. Again, I am not a church and I'm not a 501c3. Our foundation is, but I don't touch anything in the foundation. We have not paid ourselves a dime or from that foundation money. That is there for when people wake up and start donating, because the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation, I have not even promoted them in a long time. You'll see the logo is right there, right there. That's the logo of my foundation. And what our dream is someday, I want people to look at cancer no different than they look at the common cold. I want people that get that diagnosis to say, oh, okay, so I need a lifestyle change. I need to deal with my past traumas. I need to drink more water. I need to sleep with more, with the time to be asleep by the hours of 10 and 2. So it's restorative sleep. I need to eat, sleep, drink, exercise, be out there, get some sunlight. I need all those things in my body because I am sabotaging myself. And I don't need to add more chemotherapy because nobody's chemotherapy deficient. I don't need to add radiation because nobody's radiation deficient. For depression, I don't need to add, I'm not Zoloft deprived, deficient. I'm not whatever your medication is deficiency. But there are different ways to learn what your deficiencies are. And there's a way to trust that God will point you in the direction that you need to be pointed in. So I hope and I pray. Oh, I normally drink when my teachers are speaking, but today, I don't think I drank once. So I want to, hopefully something I said today will spark. Again, if you want to donate to the classroom and be a reoccurring donor, go to whenyouneedafriend.com, click on to the page that is the enrolled student in the classroom, and figure out what fits your budget and donate. If you can do that and be a recurring. If you want to give $1 a month and you don't want to write a $1 check and you want to write a $12 check, you can send it to our P.O. Box. And that's P.O. Box 1064, Cape Canaveral, Florida, 32920. If you don't want to do any of that and you are like hip and happening and you are able to go to PayPal, then you can just go to PayPal, and my email is lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. So many different ways. And I'm leaving it up to God. If God touches your heart, then great. But I hope that this classroom continues. Make sure you subscribe, because this classroom has changed so many different times. And now maybe it's time to change again. How will it change is up to God and up to you. So I hope that you will help with your time, your talent, or your treasure. And I always wish you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the future. But they say October, they're going to be shut down, but I don't want to buy into the hype. I'm going to act as if I am healed, know my direction, and I'm ready to go. And I will see you soon, because I've got to take a break. And I will see you soon. So thank you so much for tuning in. And oh, I got another comment. I took Lobelia and C as well. You're so right. I'm going to, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lobelia. For those of you, I wish I had that bottle. And if Robert is listening to me, if he can bring me the bottle of Lobelia, I don't make any money. I don't do anything, but I do vitamin C. I do the tablet vitamin C. And if you go to dryourself.com, that's Dr. Andrew Saul. That's what helped me. You can imagine diseases from A to Z and what supplements can go and work with you. Then that's where you can learn how to do it. But you take enough vitamin C to be symptom free. But sometimes, because the environment is changing a little bit more, maybe there's stressors, and that's where, my lungs, that's breathing, it's like a stress, that's where it might hit. Dr. Freeman said, you can have some Lobelia, and it's just a dropper full in water, and you just drink it. It doesn't taste like anything. And let me tell you, it's natural, it's herbs. God gave it to us, and it was prepared so that we can consume it in a liquid form. So there's so much we don't know. And it's so glad. So thank you, Crochet Granny. Can I call you Granny? No. I don't know what your name is, but make sure you subscribe at whenyouneedafriend.com. So I'm going to check out. And Myrna and Victoria, thank you so much for being in the classroom today. I love you all. Like I said, I could have stayed with my mom today, but this is my passion. And I knew my mom was in good hands with the staff. And tomorrow, my sister Asia will be there with my dad. My dad gets to see his bride of 67 years. And like I said, while I was FaceTiming my dad fell. But I think the only thing that was bruised was his ego and his bottom. But hi, Jacqueline. Thank you so much so if you are watching right now and you're going to watch the replay when I finish up today, just make sure that you tell me where you're watching from. How did you hear about the classroom? Are you a podcast viewer? Like, email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. I've got so many people that make comments. I love it. I love it. And sometimes I get so many comments. Like if everybody that watched my video donated $1, a month, oh my gosh, we could do so much. But we know that may not happen. So, if those who can give more, please give. And those who cannot, and if you can, spread the word, spread the good news, I so appreciate it. And when you subscribe to my channels, and when you like and you share and you tag somebody, all those things help. But as you know, the classroom, even my website has been hit. And I'm just that small little fish. I'm a small little fish in the big ocean. And so I want to make sure that if we can continue doing this, that we stand together. So thank you for standing, because united, we stand together. Divided, we will fall. And also check out I Am 99. Check out the New Truth series. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com and look at all the different free stuff that's there to help you start growing and learning and doing all the things that you want. That little hole in your soul that you're afraid to look at. If you just handle it once, Ohio, only handle it once. Get rid of it. Let it go. And I said this earlier. I think it was yesterday I said it. I'm going through with my parents, not just the parents' crisis. There's other things that are happening in my life that if I were to walk away, I would need to deal with those things. But I feel that now is not the time. Now is not the time. And there are some things that are beyond my control, people and the way they have treated me, that are beyond my control during this whole crisis stuff. And I think, wow, it doesn't matter how evolved you are. If you think you are done with personal growth, hang around your family. That's when you get poked in the eye and you go, oop, got to go back to class. Oop, got to go back to class. So if you're going through a difficult time right now, just know the person you see on the exterior you see on Facebook of people is different than the interior you feel in you. And so I hope that we work together, to create something different and new with Facebook, with the classroom, wherever we go. Let's continue to stay connected. So please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channels. BitChute. I've got Twitter. I think Victoria was the one that told me something about mini me or me or something like that. Oh, I'm getting more people. Oh my. Okay, let's see. Nancy, you're beautiful. I love your sincerity and information and natural healing. Thank you so much, Nancy. From Indiana. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm so grateful that you've joined us. If this is your first time, I've been waiting for you. But if you have been tuning in from 2011 and have continued to watch and continue to grow with me, just know how eternally grateful I am. So please, it's time to get to work. It's time to nourish my body, because it is 6:30 in Florida time. And please remember, I am just so thrilled every time we come together and we unite, even though we're not side by side. This classroom is real. It is real. And look at where we're at in the world today. And I could go on and on and on, but I'm not. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that if you've missed the beginning of this, that you will join us and watch the replay, and still make some comments, whether you watch it on BitChute or YouTube or Facebook, whatever. Just let us know that you stand together with me. We'll see you soon.